This week on the Wildcat Report, Donald Trump rallies in Council Bluffs, Iowa. Jack Zimmer and his interesting talent. Ben Fugit and his passion of photography. Jake Wolfe lives a double life. And Sports Corner with Will and JD.
Hi, I'm Corey Hadfield.
And I'm Emmy Seaton. And this is the Wildcat Report.
Last week, Trump's Republican Party rally was at Council Bluffs at the Mid-America Center. We go to Tess and Natalie with the story.
Despite the busy workday, many took time out of their day to join the long line awaiting a rare event. Presidential candidate Donald Trump has paid a visit to Council Bluffs, Iowa, and many wouldn't take the chance to miss it.
I will never back down from fighting to save American lives.
The supporters decked out in their red, white, and blue and have put aside the negative criticism by others and have joined the rally. With plenty of positive comments to be said about their favorite potential leader, the rally gave off a peaceful vibe. Along with everyone decked out in red, white, and blue, there were also a variety of ages. But with every presidential campaign comes protesters.
We're out here to say that this is not acceptable. Bigotry and hate are not acceptable, and we don't want it in our state. We don't want it in our country.
Even though there weren't any Millard students at the rally, we asked them about what they thought of Trump.
I think Donald Trump's ideas are organized and he would have a positive effect on our country.
It's time for real change, a new foreign policy, a new economic policy, a new immigration policy, and a new trade policy.
This has been Tess and Natalie Rojo with the Wildcat Report.
I'm not running to be president of the world, I'm running to be president of the United States.
Thanks, Natalie and Tess, for taking the time out of your busy school days to go report on Trump.
Corey and I got the opportunity to take a closer look at Jack Zimmer's unique art.
My name is Jack Zimmer. I think anything put onto paper is really artwork. Like writing could be artwork, and like books are artwork. Really just anything like even made or like created is artwork. I started doing art basically probably my whole life, just kind of messing around with pencils and just started like drawing stuff and drawing SpongeBob and toucans and my favorite things to draw. I was 8 years old when I found out I had cancer, just starting the 3rd grade, and we found out I had acute lymphoblastic leukemia, which is a form of cancer in your blood. When I was in I think it was 4th grade that they gave me my Make-A-Wish trip for having cancer, and they asked me what I wanted to do, and the first thing I said was I wanted to create a cartoon, but they're like, no, we're gonna have you meet a cartoon. And so they were like, how about SpongeBob? And I was like, yeah, that sounds pretty cool. And so when I went there, I met all the cast. They took a bunch of pictures with us, and then I met another guy, and he was the guy who like draws SpongeBob. So when we went up to his office, he had this big cardboard like piece of paper, and he drew me as a fish, and then he drew SpongeBob with his arm wrapped around me. It really made me want to be like more, it really influenced me to like draw more and kind of like just express myself through like art more than I used to be when I was younger. It was during 9th grade summer. My sister and I and my family all went to Clearwater Beach, Florida, and we went to like the boardwalk area, and we found there was a bunch of like entertainers and everything really, and then we saw this guy had his own little stand, and he was doing a bunch of like spray paint art, and I thought it was really cool, so I like really wanted one, so I asked my mom to buy me one. And then when we got back, I was like, you know what, I think I want to kind of like try to do this for myself, because I mean it seems like a pretty cool hobby to have. And I do this like when I have downtime, and I'll move all the cars out of the garage and just be out here for probably like an hour or two, just trying to like get better at what I want to do. My favorite piece I made was for this little boy. It was for his birthday, and it had Air Jordan. I had a little stencil of Air Jordan dunking, and the way the planet turned out, it looked like he was dunking like on the planet, but the planet didn't turn out on the bottom very well, so it looks like he's like actually dunking on a hoop, but it's a planet. It was really cool, but I gave it away. I never really, when I do this, I don't do it that often, but like once in a while, and when they turn out good, it makes me feel kind of like proud of myself. Hopefully people will be interested in like actually having them, so I hope so. Spray you later.
Some people say a picture is worth 1,000 words.
Ben Fugate takes those words and tells an even bigger story. We go to Will and Lindsey with the story.
Senses sometimes I just get a feeling that something will look nice. Just being slightly mysterious, not quite knowing, like, just so it's not so black and white and straightforward. I just like making things quirky and interesting and not as typical as you would expect. For people to open up a little bit and honestly just hang out and talk, but also show themselves in a way that they normally would not is just a very interesting thing.
I would describe my style of photography as something like a weird, vicarious admiration of just human beings in general.
People think like, oh, I can't do photography, it's just, I can't take good pictures, or even a lot of people don't get into it because they think like, oh my god, everybody has cameras. Buying a nicer camera doesn't mean you're going to get better pictures. At the very least, I want it to just be a part of my life, even if it is just a hobby, something that I do for fun. Ideally, just make a living off of it, but also enjoy what I do.
My name's Ben, and I really like photography.
Jake Wolfe lives a double life, much like Troy Bolton in High School Musical.
He's a starting kicker for the football team and an aspiring artist. We go to Gabby and Sarah with a story.
A strong build and a determined mindset. Walking onto the field, Jake Wolfe knows what he has to accomplish for his teammates.
Jake Wolfe, yet another kickoff.
However, not many of his fellow teammates know what he has already accomplished. Usually, athletes take their place on the field, band members have their spots in the stands, photographers capture moments from the sidelines, and the stereotypes are formed. Rarely does an athlete take interest in art, let alone excels in it. Art teachers know his name, not because he is the star kicker, but because of his natural talents in the art room.
And I remember sort of seeing him and thinking like, oh, you know, sort of like a jock, but then seeing his drawings and I was like, that kid's really talented. And then I didn't have him as a student until this year, and he's a really hard worker. He's earned some art awards. He earned a gold key last year for his dual self-portrait. He is very talented at drawing in graphite and realistically. His portrait that's out in the gallery, he freehanded everything. Like other kids were drawing it with a grid, and he just freehanded it.
Some claim that participating in two very different activities takes away the focus from one of them. Art and football can coexist quite well for Jake.
Sometimes I'll sit down and draw or paint for like 10 hours.
In high school, what sets students apart from their peers influences their future.
Usually in athletics, it's, I don't know, it helps your mind concentrate on just staying ahead of the game and doing all your stuff so you can play sports.
Jake has signed with South Dakota State University to play football and further his education.
Just gonna keep doing it for like a side job.
There's definitely a lot more to this kid than football, baseball, etc.
Jake's driven persona guides him to the various successes he experiences. He tackles art, football, and baseball in his high school years. He is number 1 on the field, number 13 on the diamond, and unknown in the art room. Kicking off, this has been Sarah Meeves and Gabby McGinn with the Wildcat Report.
District softball and Metro cross country were canceled due to weather, obviously.
But JD Wessel and Will Morris still went out and got this week's sports highlights with Sports Corner.
Shut up and sit down.
Looking for his man downfield. He's got Shea Wyatt in his crosshairs. Shea Wyatt pulls it in over Dylan Price. Shea Wyatt with the score. 2-3. Third deal of the night. Logan Black gets the center field. That's gone. Home run, Wildcats. Good morning, Wildcats. I'm Will Morris, and this is Sports Corner. We'll start off with boys tennis. They've dropped their last 3 matches, getting shut out by Millard North and Creighton Prep their last 2. They play in the Metro Tournament tomorrow. In volleyball news, the Wildcats defeated Bellevue West 3-2 on October 4th. They play again on October 8th against Grand Island. For football, we're going to go over to JD Wessel. JD, what do you got for us?
Thanks, Will. And now we're going to kick it over to Millard West football, where they defeated the Bryan Bears 69-7 in a game that was really all Millard West from the start, getting the first play from scrimmage into the touchdown. Wildcats completely dominating that game, and now they head to North Platte to take on the Bulldogs, and that game will be live from me, JD Wessel, and Will Morris. And the first play from scrimmage, Giovanni Guido hooking up with Hunter Schnurley, where he creates a big play downfield to get into the end zone. And then the very next drive for the Wildcats, Shea Wyatt is going to make a man miss, and he's going to go into the end zone and record his 8th touchdown of the season. The pitch over to Brody Belt on this play, he's going to walk it into the end zone. And then Brody Belt's very next opportunity, he is going to just trot on into the end zone, recording his 13th touchdown of the season. And finally, the dump off pass to Shea Wyatt. He's going to make another big play to help give the Wildcats the 69-7 victory over the Bryan Bears.
And we'll close out with cross country today in the Millard West to invite both boys and girls. One, as for the team titles, Seth Hurst won the boys individual title, breaking the Walnut Grove course record with a time of 14 minutes and 56.9 seconds. That's going to be it for Sports Corner today. I'm Will Morris. Have a good day, Wildcats.
1, 2, 3, Wildcats!
We bid goodbye on this dreary day. I'm Corey Hadfield.
And I'm Seaton. And this has been the Wildcat Report.